Are you prepared for what's coming? Most seniors aren't. The truth is harsh. After 70, the people you once relied on may not be there anymore. Your body may start to fail you. Your mind could betray you. The thought of ending up alone, abandoned in a nursing home, helpless and forgotten, it's terrifying, isn't it? But here's the thing. It doesn't have to be this way. The key to surviving, no, thriving, after 70 isn't relying on others. It's learning how to be independent. Loneliness isn't the enemy. Helplessness is. And the most powerful weapon you have is the ability to stand on your own. Independence after 70 isn't just a matter of pride. It's a matter of survival. If you don't take action now, you could end up a burden to your family, isolated from friends, and slowly losing your ability to take care of yourself. But here's the good news. There's a way out. And it starts with understanding why independent seniors are not just surviving, they're thriving. Let me show you why embracing solitude after 70 might be the best decision you ever make. 1. Independence equals freedom from emotional manipulation. Let's face the truth. Dependence makes you vulnerable, not just physically, but emotionally. When you rely on others to meet your basic needs, you give them power over your life, and that power can be used to control you. Most people won't tell you this because it's uncomfortable to hear, but it's the truth. The moment you become dependent on someone else for your happiness, your survival, or your well-being, you lose control over your own life. Think about it. When you depend on your children to visit you, to call you, to take you to the doctor or the store, you put yourself at their mercy. What happens when they stop calling? What happens when they have more important things to do? What happens when they decide that taking care of you is too much of a burden? If you think that would never happen, think again. Studies show that over 40% of seniors report feeling neglected or abandoned by their families. It's not because their families are evil, it's because life happens. People get busy. They prioritize their own lives. And when you're dependent, you don't have a choice. You're left waiting, hoping. Take Mary, for example. Mary, 76, trusted her daughter to take care of her as she aged. After Mary had a bad fall, her daughter helped out for a few weeks. But then the visits stopped. The calls became less frequent. Mary was left sitting in her chair, day after day, waiting for someone to care. And no one came. The hardest part wasn't the physical pain. It was the emotional pain of realizing that her daughter had moved on with her life, while Mary was stuck in place. When you're independent, you protect yourself from this emotional vulnerability. You stop waiting for others to validate your existence. You stop relying on others to make you feel valued. Independence gives you the freedom to live life on your terms, not someone else's. You decide when you want to socialize. You decide how you want to spend your day. And when you stop relying on others, you stop giving them the power to hurt you. Independence isn't just about dignity. It's about emotional survival. 2. Better physical and mental health. Let's be brutally honest. Aging is a slow betrayal of the body and mind. After 70, your muscles weaken, your balance deteriorates, and your memory starts to fade. That's not fear-mongering. That's biology. But here's what no one tells you. How fast and how severely this decline happens depends largely on you. Seniors who rely on others for their daily needs, cooking, cleaning, grocery shopping, decline much faster than those who remain independent. The less you use your body and mind, the faster they wither away. Studies show that seniors who maintain their independence, those who stay active and engaged, have up to a 60% lower risk of developing dementia. It's not just about keeping busy. It's about keeping your brain and body working. When you cook your own meals, you engage multiple cognitive functions: decision-making, problem-solving, memory, and fine motor skills. When you walk to the store instead of relying on someone to drive you, you strengthen your muscles, improve balance, and increase blood flow to the brain, which keeps you mentally sharp. But here's the scary part. Dependence accelerates physical decline. Seniors who stop walking regularly lose up to 15% of their muscle mass every year. And it gets worse. After just 2 weeks of bed rest, you could lose up to 10% of your strength. That's why so many seniors who enter nursing homes experience rapid physical and cognitive decline. They stop using their muscles, and their body starts to shut down. Look at David, 74. David stayed active well into his 70s, walking every day, cooking for himself, and managing his own finances. His friend Alan moved into an assisted living facility at 70. Alan stopped cooking, stopped walking, and within a year, he needed a walker. By 72, he was in a wheelchair. David, on the other hand, remained mobile and mentally sharp well into his 80s. Why? Because he refused to give up his independence. If you stop using your body, you will lose it. If you stop challenging your mind, you will lose it. Independence isn't just about pride. It's about survival. Staying independent forces you to stay physically and mentally engaged. And that's the key to living longer, healthier, and sharper. 3. Independence builds emotional strength and protects against loneliness. Loneliness isn't about being alone. It's about feeling powerless. Seniors who are dependent on others for emotional support often feel lonelier than those who live alone. Why? Because dependence creates vulnerability. When you rely on someone else to visit you, call you, or include you in their plans, you give them control over your emotional state. If they show up, you feel valued. If they don't, you feel rejected and abandoned. That kind of emotional roller coaster erodes your mental health over time. Independent seniors, on the other hand, are not emotionally fragile because they don't place their sense of worth in the hands of others. They decide when and how they engage with people. They build relationships on their terms, not out of desperation or fear of being alone. And that emotional strength creates resilience. Take John, 78. John's wife passed away 5 years ago. Instead of sinking into depression and isolation, John made a decision. He wasn't going to wait for others to pull him out of his grief. He was going to take control of his life. He started going for walks every morning. He signed up for a cooking class. He volunteered at a local community center. Now John has a full social life, but the key difference is that he built it himself. If someone cancels plans, John isn't crushed, because his happiness doesn't depend on others. Compare that to Linda, 76, who relies on her daughter for emotional support. If Linda's daughter doesn't visit, she feels abandoned. If Linda's daughter doesn't call, she feels forgotten. Linda spends her days waiting for someone else to give her emotional validation. And when that doesn't happen, her mental health suffers. Here's the hard truth. The people in your life, your kids, your friends, your neighbors, have their own lives. They can't be your emotional foundation forever. If you don't develop the ability to create happiness for yourself, you'll always feel like you're on the edge of emotional collapse. Independence gives you the emotional strength to handle life's ups and downs. You stop feeling abandoned when someone doesn't call because you've already built a life that fulfills you. Emotional strength comes from knowing you can survive on your own and still thrive. Independence isn't about isolation. It's about building a life where you are enough, with or without others. 4. Self-sufficiency = financial protection. Let's talk about something no one wants to admit. Seniors are prime targets for financial abuse, often from the very people they trust the most. Your kids, your caregivers, even your friends. They may not start out with bad intentions, but once they realize you depend on them financially, the dynamic shifts. Suddenly, your money becomes their money. Your assets become something they feel entitled to. And if you're not careful, you could lose everything. Not to a stranger, but to someone you love. The statistics are chilling. Seniors lose over $36 billion every year to financial exploitation. And over 60% of that comes from family members and close acquaintances. It starts small. Someone borrows money from you, saying they'll pay it back. They don't. Or maybe they convince you to sign over control of your bank account because it'll make things easier. Then one day you realize that your savings have disappeared, and the person you trusted is nowhere to be found. Take Robert, 82. Robert's son convinced him to sign over power of attorney, saying it would help manage the bills more easily. At first, everything seemed fine, but over the course of 2 years, Robert's savings began to dwindle. His son was using the money to pay off his own debts, and when Robert confronted him, his son stopped visiting altogether. Robert was left financially ruined, with no way to recover. Now imagine the alternative. Susan, 78, never allowed anyone access to her accounts. She learned how to use online banking. She kept detailed records of her expenses and made all her financial decisions herself. When Susan's grandson asked for a loan to start a business, Susan politely declined. And when he stopped calling afterward, Susan knew she had made the right decision. She protected her future by staying in control. Dependency makes you vulnerable, not just emotionally, but financially. When someone else manages your money, they manage your future. And if they decide that your future isn't as important as theirs, you could lose everything. Independence isn't just about maintaining your dignity. It's about protecting your financial survival. Take control of your money. Keep your accounts private. Manage your own investments. Hire a financial advisor if you need to, but make sure they work for you, not the other way around. Independence means knowing that every financial decision is in your hands, and that's the only way to guarantee. 5. Independence extends life and makes it worth living. Let's be clear. Losing your independence doesn't just shorten your life. It makes those final years miserable. Studies show that seniors who lose their independence, whether by moving into a nursing home or relying on family for daily care, have a significantly higher risk of early death. But here's the real kicker. It's not just about how long you live. It's about how well you live. Independence isn't just the key to a longer life. It's the key to a life worth living. When you give up control over your daily life, your ability to choose what you eat, where you go, how you spend your time, you stop engaging with the world. And when you stop engaging, your body and mind begin to shut down. Research shows that seniors who lose their independence are 3 times more likely to experience depression and anxiety. Cognitive decline accelerates. Physical strength deteriorates. And once you stop moving, both physically and mentally, it becomes almost impossible to recover. Take Alice, 82. Alice lived independently for most of her life. She cooked her own meals, cleaned her apartment, and walked to the market every day. When Alice's doctor suggested that she hire a live-in caregiver, she refused, and instead joined a local senior fitness group. Alice's health improved. She built new friendships. She stayed mentally sharp. At 84, Alice was still able to live on her own, and her doctor said she had the physical health of someone 10 years younger. Now consider Linda, 75, who moved into an assisted living facility after her husband died. At first, it seemed like the easy solution. Meals were provided, transportation was handled, and Linda no longer had to worry about managing her household. But within 6 months, Linda had gained 20 pounds. Her memory started slipping. She stopped participating in social activities. By the time she turned 76, Linda was confined to a wheelchair, and she told her daughter, "I feel like I've already died." Here's the truth no one tells you. Losing your independence takes away more than your freedom. It takes away your will to live. Seniors who remain independent, who stay physically and mentally active, live up to 7 years longer than those who give up control of their lives. But it's not just about surviving longer. It's about having a reason to keep going. If you want to avoid the slow, painful decline that comes with dependence, you need to start now. Build physical strength. Even light exercise 3 times a week can increase your lifespan by years. Keep your mind engaged. Read, learn new skills, challenge yourself. Stay involved in your community. Because social connection isn't just about avoiding loneliness, it's about keeping your mind and heart alive. The alternative? A slow, quiet death in a care facility, where your days blur together and your choices are made for you. Independence is the difference between living and merely existing. If you want to live, really live, after 70, you need to protect your independence at all costs. You have 2 choices right now. Take control or give it up. No one is coming to save you. Your kids can't carry your health, your friends can't fix your finances, and your doctor can't make you stronger. If you want to survive, if you want to live, you need to start acting now. Learn how to cook your own meals. Start exercising every day. Take control of your finances. Make decisions based on your needs, not on guilt. Independence isn't just about avoiding loneliness. It's about building a life worth living. The truth is simple. Independent seniors live longer, healthier, and happier lives. But it won't happen by accident. If you want to thrive after 70, you need to take action today. Because the alternative? It's terrifying.